Ladies and gentlemen, let me take you back 5 to 10 years ago, where Westfield was just being built. You were in high school, didn't have many problems. iPhones weren't really a thing, but you know what was? BBM, BlackBerry Messenger. BBM actually used to be a thing. Now, if you're watching this and you don't know what BBM is, you were definitely a loser, or you're just too young. Yeah, back then no one wanted an iPhone, man. If you wanted an iPhone or an Android, you were either a loser or a nerd. You didn't have any friends because everyone wanted to be on a BBM thing. Essentially what BBM was a somewhat watered down but also improved version of MSN. Now, you could only get BBM on one phone at the time. It was only available on a BlackBerry. Now, there were different models of BlackBerries, but people tended to stick to the BlackBerry Curve 8520. Me personally, I had the sexier model, the BlackBerry Curve 9360, just saying. Now, this was the day before WhatsApp. No one really used WhatsApp at the time. People used Facebook, kind of, still. People are still using Facebook. But BBM was where it was at. BBM had literally everything that you could need. BlackBerry as a phone itself at the time, unless you were a businessman, I don't know what else you were using it for. Yeah, sure, you could listen to music. The screen was absolutely tiny. There were like 2 games on it. There was one where you could like do word searches with a mole or something. Maybe it was a rat. And then there was your normal Brick Breaker. I spent a lot of time in my days playing Brick Breaker. But BBM itself was really quite special, and let me explain to you why this app is definitely more than an app. Let me explain to you why this tool given to us from the heavens was so useful back in the day, and why us teenagers loved it so much. So first of all, hold your horses. Before you even start talking to anyone, there's one thing that you're gonna need, and that's your BBM pin. Your pin was made up of around 7 something characters, 7 to 10, I don't remember. And in order for someone to add you as a friend, they would need your pin. There was also the option to scan a QR, but no one did that. That's too ahead of its time. So you'd need someone's pin essentially to add them as a friend and get to talking. If you were friends, and it was pretty easy. You just have to say, yo bro, what's your pin? Let me add you on BBM. And if you didn't have someone's pin, then you'd have to ask. Now, let's say, for example, you saw a cute girl walking by. Bear in mind, Westfield Stratford is open at this time, so it's time for the games to start, boys. Yes, she's there and you think, whoa, she's definitely gonna have a BlackBerry, because damn, a girl fine as that, she definitely can't have an iPhone or an Android, right? So you approach her. And if it was nowadays, you'd say, hey yo, what's your snap B? But this was back then, so instead you'd want to say, hey yo, what's your pin B? And then you gotta hope that she says yes or no. But you know what? That's not for all the players out there. Not everyone could do that Chad level stuff. Some people didn't have the balls, and so instead they would ask their boys or their girls to, hey man, I just got my BB. Can you broadcast my pin? Who's ready to hear about BCing? Oh, that was a top-notch feature, I tell you that. BCing. Essentially what this does is it broadcasts to your contacts, whoever you choose. Usually you choose all of them. A message to your contacts. And the whole point of this is to convince the person on the receiving end to add the person that you're talking about in your BC. Now, for me personally, I do consider myself as quite the poetic writer, so I took this as a nice little challenge for me. Depending on who it was asking to be broadcasted, I would take some pride into writing what I'm about to write about this person, add a little bit of extra spice. Here I'm ready. Let's take one of my boys for example. I'd be like, yes, add my boy Suraj. Suraj is... You don't know who Suraj is? Psh, well, you're in for a surprise, ladies. This guy has slick hair. He works out 5 days a week, so you better make sure that you make time for him in your schedule. Mandem, he's got a 3.5 KD ratio on Modern Warfare. He's a sexy guy and he's great fun to be around. Add up the pin, and you put the pin like 5 times just to make sure that they really got it. Add it up now, ladies, and then at the end of the BC, SFT BC, that means sorry for the broadcast. That's only if you have a certain level of etiquette though. Not many people added that. Send. From that point onwards, you send that broadcast out to all of your contacts. Now the problem with this is if you do write really good BCs, people will then pop up to you afterwards and say, hey, I liked what you did with that BC. It was great. Can you do me, please? And they put an X. Side note, people back in the day, they used to put a crazy amount of X's after each message. It was fucking weird, man. It was really weird. I digress. Now, following this, back then, people didn't really care who they were adding a lot of the time. They would add the most random people. I had some people that lived in other parts of London that I would never see. I would never meet them. I might have a couple conversations with them, especially in group chats, but I wouldn't really know who they are. That being said, I did feel like I knew who they were. I would see their status updates. I would see them posting a new picture. I would see what music they're listening to, etc. All of these things just by looking at a screen on a, like, it's like probably 4 inches. BBM had a lot of the things that the social media apps that you use today already have. You know, you've got the group chats, the status updates, but they were kind of used differently. For example, you could always tell when a girl was going through some deep shit with her man or her friends, or something just wasn't working right. Maybe she got a lower grade than she expected to on her maths test or something, and her parents were furious. What she would do is she would go and change her status to a bunch of angry faces, or she might leave it blank. Either or, they both work. It depends what kind of finishing touch you want to give. And she would just change her DP to black. And that meant that she was not available for conversation, or you are supposed to pop up and ask her what's wrong. She might say, oh, this is wrong, or she might say, no, don't talk to me. No, I'm not in the right state of mind. Or she might just blank you. But either way, guys, you should not be popping up to any of those girls that are setting their DPs to black. Kind of giving this advice a bit too late, almost 10 years, but you shouldn't have ever been doing that. If you were doing that, that is... Now for guys, here's where it gets interesting, because there was a certain feature on BBM that allowed you to know what music someone was listening to. And it could work pretty well. Someone might be listening to a new song by Chris Brown at the time, for example, and you didn't know it was out yet. So you'd be like, dude, is this song as cool as it should be? And you'd be like, yeah, man, have a listen to it. I'll send it to you, because no one had it on Spotify back in the day. However, this feature was meant to be turned on and off. And sometimes if you forgot to turn it off and you were feeling a little bit horny later at night, let's say 9 p.m. If you forgot to turn off the feature and you started watching dirty boy content, then everyone on your BBM contact list would know. They wouldn't exactly say the title of what you were watching. That would be a little bit too much. But the man then would know, oh, he's watching title something. A lot of the time it would just say title. But we knew what that was. Not sure what went down when we clocked our brethren were watching porn and jacking off, but speaking of dirty things, there was a feature where if someone wasn't replying to their messages, if someone wasn't giving you the response in a short period of time that you wanted, if someone just was ignoring you, BBM didn't encourage you to sit back and say, you know what, obviously this person doesn't want to talk to me. Let me put my phone down, go and play with my little sister, go and cook some food, or just speak to someone else. No, BBM didn't encourage that. They implemented a feature which allowed you to vibrate that person's phone at your will. It was called ping, ping, ping. It still brings back some memories. If someone wasn't replying to you in the chat, you could just write capital PING, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Send that to them and their phone would shake. It would shake. Now, I did say that this was a dirty feature. It is dirty because it's not nice to just bombard someone's phones with vibration, unless they wanted you to do that. There were discussions of back in the day, girls in particular, asking people, hey, could you just send me a lot of pings? Everyone just send me some pings. I need to test something on my phone. I need to just, yeah. I don't think I need to really elaborate on that. Vibrators weren't cheap. I mean, I don't know. I've never bought one. But if you've got a phone that can already do it, why not? Going back to when I was talking about seeing your brethren watching porn, you might want to share this with some of your friends or keep it as evidence for a later date. Nowadays, you just screenshot it. Back then, screenshots, oh no. That was way too basic. No one wanted to screenshot. People wanted to munch. There was this like pink creature that was the mascot for an app on the BlackBerry Play Store. If you wanted to capture something that was on your screen, you would have to munch it. And every time you munched your screen, it would capture what's on your screen along with this horrible sound. It was like every time. And especially if someone's on their phone in class and they're trying to do something and you hear that, you just hear that, oh shit. Someone's just about to get baited. Someone's about to get baited for doing some dirty things. Well, it was Alicia asking you to send her bare pings, yeah? Rah. In class, rotted. Personally, I didn't use the Munch feature. I found another app which allowed me to screenshot without the need of that sound and a pink. I don't know what animal this thing. It was a monster, and it was a monster without the pink monster to go alongside it. By now, you should know that BBM was a magical place to socialize, to pleasure yourself, apparently, as well. But it all changed once you didn't need a BlackBerry anymore for BBM. And Snapchat began to pick up as well a little bit more. Android and iPhone users were able to download the BBM app. You didn't need a BlackBerry anymore. And I remember the days when my friends and I migrated over to WhatsApp. It was a very, very sad day. The BlackBerries had to go. Bye-bye, BlackBerry. Let's just take a minute of silence for BBM. Amen. Thank you, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you had a BlackBerry and you remember your BBM pin, comment it down below. I don't remember mine. I think it was like 2EACFDBH. That's definitely wrong. But anyway, take care. The sun's about to go down now, so I should just end this video now. Have a lovely day wherever you are. Like, comment, and subscribe if you like the video. Best. Peace. Ciao. Can't lie, to be honest, I don't know why else man wanted to be watching porn on a BlackBerry Curve. Anyway, the screen was like this small. Dick is probably taking up most of it. Safe, guys.